I'm left wondering, how much of our lives is determined by luck and how much by skill? It's a question that Edward Thorp's life story certainly makes us ponder.
That's a fantastic question to leave our listeners with. Welcome everyone to our deep dive into the world of Edward Thorp. This guy's a legend, a mathematician who cracked the code of casinos and then went on to revolutionize Wall Street.
Absolutely fascinating life, yeah.
Talk about a fascinating life. Thorp's story really highlights this idea of finding and exploiting the edge.
Right, that was his core strategy. He used his deep understanding of math and probability to identify inefficiencies in systems, whether it was the blackjack table or the stock market. It's incredible.
It's so cool. He really took this scientific approach to beating the odds, so to speak. So where did this incredible journey begin?
Well, his fascination with numbers started early. Imagine this. At 3 years old, he was already challenging a shopkeeper's adding machine.
Oh, wow.
Like he was born with this knack for calculation and recognizing patterns.
That's amazing. It sounds like these early experiences really set the stage for, his later accomplishments.
Definitely. I mean, that inherent drive to find patterns and advantages that continued to grow throughout his life and ultimately, led him to become a pioneer in gambling and quantitative investing.
Yeah, it's incredible how those early sparks of curiosity can really ignite this lifelong passion for something. So how did this young math whiz go from, challenging shopkeepers to taking on casinos?
Well, a pivotal turn happened in high school. Despite having limited resources at his school, Thorp, he just devoured these advanced science topics on his own. And he even won a national science talent search when he was just 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a self-starter. It sounds like he was just determined to, push his boundaries and learn as much as he could.
Exactly. And, that win wasn't just an accolade, it was a gateway. It really exposed him to this broader world of scientific possibilities and solidified his belief in the power of independent learning, which, are themes that we see throughout his life.
Yeah, it's amazing how a single event can have such a profound impact on, someone's trajectory. So how did this passion for science and learning lead him to the world of casinos? Did he just decide to take a gamble, literally and figuratively, and see what happened?
Well, not quite. It was a 1958 trip to Las Vegas that really sparked his interest in gambling. He came across an article about blackjack's strategy and was immediately captivated by this challenge of using his mathematical skills to beat a game that was supposed to be all about luck.
Okay, so he saw a system that he thought he could maybe outsmart.
Right.
I can already see the wheels turning in his head. He wasn't just playing blackjack. He was analyzing it, looking for patterns.
You got it. That's exactly what sets Thorp apart. He wasn't just a gambler. He was a scientist applying this rigorous mathematical analysis to a game that, most people just saw as pure chance.
So he saw an edge where others just saw randomness. That's brilliant. Did he just dive right in, or did he actually take the time to really study the game?
Thorp was meticulous. He developed a card-counting system using an IBM 704 computer. Imagine the limited computing power back then. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
He was able to simulate millions of hands to test and refine his strategy.
Wow, so he really went all in on this.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't just playing cards, it was like scientific research. So what happened when he put this system to the test?
Let's just say he made quite a splash in the casino world. Thorp's success shook the industry. Casinos had to change their rules. Some even tried to ban him from blackjack tables.
He was a game changer, literally. But Thorp wasn't content with conquering just one casino game, right? What came next in his quest for the edge?
Right. After mastering blackjack, he turned his attention to roulette, and he teamed up with Claude Shannon, the father of information theory, to develop this revolutionary tool.
Wait, is this where that story about the wearable computer comes in?
You're on the right track.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
They built the world's first wearable computer, designed to predict where the roulette ball would land and really push the boundaries of technology and innovation in the 1960s.
Okay, that's just mind-blowing. This guy was a true visionary. So we've got a mathematical genius, conquering casinos, inventing groundbreaking technology. What's next in Thorp's journey?
Well, after his wild ride in the casino world, Thorp set his sights on an even bigger and more complex game: Wall Street.
Hold on, so he's going from blackjack and roulette to the stock market.
Exactly.
That's a big leap. Did his casino strategies actually translate to the world of finance?
He believed they did. Thorp believed the same principles applied, understanding probabilities, managing risk, and finding those hidden edges. He was about to become a pioneer in a whole new arena. Thorp saw Wall Street as kind of the ultimate casino, right? Full of opportunities for someone who could understand the math behind it all.
Oh, interesting.
He believed that, just like with blackjack, there were these inefficiencies and biases in the market that he could exploit.
So he was basically applying his card-counting skills to stocks and bonds. Wild.
Well, not exactly card counting, but the underlying principle was similar. He was using his math skills to identify opportunities that others were missing. But, Thorp was never one to just rush in unprepared.
Right.
He meticulously studied the financial markets, immersed himself in books, research, data. He really wanted to understand how Wall Street worked before making his move.
That sounds like him. Always calculated and strategic. So what was his, big breakthrough in the world of finance?
Well, his entry into Wall Street was marked by his pioneering work in this thing called convertible arbitrage. Now, this strategy involves exploiting the price difference between a convertible bond and the underlying stock.
Convertible bonds.
Yeah, it's a type of bond that can be converted into stock.
Okay, that sounds a bit complicated. Can you break it down for us non-finance folks?
Sure, think of it this way. A convertible bond is like a hybrid security. It offers the stability of a bond with the potential upside of a stock. And Thorp's brilliance was in recognizing that sometimes these convertible bonds were mispriced, creating an opportunity to profit from that discrepancy.
So he was basically finding those hidden gems in the market, securities that were undervalued based on his mathematical analysis.
You got it. His understanding of probability and risk allowed him to identify these opportunities that, other people just overlooked.
This is fascinating. He was like a financial detective, uncovering clues in the market data.
His approach was truly revolutionary at the time. He was one of the first to apply these advanced mathematical models and computer analysis to investing. He was really paving the way for what we now know as quantitative finance.
So he's like the godfather of quants. That's incredible. How did Wall Street react to this newcomer with his unconventional methods?
Well, Thorp's success really spoke for itself. He founded a highly successful hedge fund called Princeton Newport Partners, and they achieved consistent returns. Get this, they didn't have a single losing year over several decades.
Hold on. No losing years.
Yeah.
That's unheard of, especially in the world of finance. That's remarkable. What was his secret sauce?
I think it was a combination of things. His deep understanding of math and probability, his meticulous risk management strategies, and his disciplined approach to investing.
So it wasn't just about finding the edge, it was about protecting his gains and minimizing losses.
Absolutely. Thorp famously used the Kelly criterion.
Kelly criterion?
It's a mathematical formula that helps determine the optimal size of a bet based on your edge and your bankroll. It's all about maximizing gains while minimizing the risk of ruin.
That's so smart. So he wasn't just taking these wild swings in the market. He was calculating his bets based on this proven mathematical formula.
Right. And it wasn't just about the math either. Thorp also understood the importance of managing emotions, especially in the world of high-stakes finance. He knew that fear and greed could really cloud judgment and lead to bad decisions.
So he wasn't just a numbers guy. He also had this understanding of human psychology, how it impacts our decision-making.
Exactly. Thorp recognized that emotions often drive market behavior, and he used that insight to his advantage.
That's amazing. I'm starting to see how his approach to gambling and investing could apply to other areas of life as well.
You're absolutely right. Thorp's principles of finding the edge, managing risk, and understanding human psychology, incredibly valuable in all aspects of life.
Okay, before we get too philosophical, I want to hear more about his adventures on Wall Street. He didn't just make a fortune, he also exposed one of the biggest financial scandals in history, right?
You're talking about the Madoff scheme, one of the largest Ponzi schemes ever. And what's amazing is that Thorp actually flagged Madoff's operation as suspicious years before the fraud was uncovered.
Wait, really? How did he see through that when so many others were fooled?
I think it was his deep understanding of financial markets and his rigorous analytical skills. He was able to spot red flags that others just missed. He recognized that Madoff's consistently high returns were statistically improbable, unsustainable.
It's like he had a sixth sense for detecting these financial shenanigans.
His synepticism, his willingness to question conventional wisdom, that was essential. He wasn't afraid to go against the crowd, point out these potential problems, even when it wasn't popular.
This is incredible. He was not only a brilliant mathematician and investor, but also kind of this financial watchdog, protecting people from fraud. What an amazing legacy.
It truly is remarkable. His story is a testament to the power of critical thinking, the importance of questioning assumptions, and the courage to stand up for what you believe in.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. Thorp's journey is full of incredible achievements and these valuable lessons. But beyond the specific strategies and techniques, are there any broader themes or concepts that we can learn from his approach to life?
Absolutely. Thorp's life is a case study in how to think critically, manage risk, and find your own edge. There are so many valuable insights that we can apply to our own lives, even if we're not mathematicians or investors.
Okay, I'm ready to dive into those insights. What are some of the key takeaways from Thorpe's incredible journey that we can apply to, our own lives?
Well, I think a good place to start is with Thorp's central philosophy of finding the edge, right? And it's not just about, gambling or investing. It's a mindset. It's about constantly seeking opportunities to improve your odds of success in any area of life.
Okay, I like that. So it's about being proactive and looking for those little advantages that can add up over time. But how do we actually find those edges in, like, real life? It's not like we can count cards at the grocery store.
Yeah, you can't count cards at the grocery store, but the principle of finding inefficiencies definitely applies.
Okay.
It could be as simple as negotiating a better price on a car or optimizing your daily routine to be more productive, or even learning a new skill that gives you a competitive advantage in your career.
I see what you mean. It's about being observant, thinking strategically, always looking for ways to just do things better. What else can we learn from Thorpe's approach?
Another crucial concept is risk management.
Uh-huh.
Thorpe was a master at assessing and mitigating risk. He understood that even with an edge, there's always a chance of losing. So he developed strategies to protect himself from, catastrophic losses.
That makes sense. So it's not just about winning. It's about surviving those inevitable setbacks, staying in the game for the long run. But how can we apply those risk management principles to our own lives? We're not all managing hedge funds.
True, but the principles are really universal. It's about understanding the potential downsides of any decision, whether it's a financial investment or a career change, even a personal relationship. Asking yourself what's the worst that could happen and developing plans to, minimize those risks.
So it's not about avoiding risk altogether. It's about being smart about the risks that we take.
Exactly. And remember Thorpe's use of the Kelly criterion. It's a reminder that even when you have an edge, you got to bet wisely. You don't want to overextend yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm already thinking about how I can be more strategic about the risks I take in my own life.
Now, beyond these specific strategies, Thorpe's journey really highlights some powerful mental models, that can help us navigate the complexity of life.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are some of those mental models?
Well, let's start with externalities.
Externalities.
Yeah, Thorpe emphasizes the importance of understanding the unintended consequences of our actions. It's about looking beyond our immediate effects and considering the ripple effects that our choices might have on others or, the environment.
So it's like that saying, every action has a reaction. Thinking about the bigger picture.
Precisely. A simple example is driving a car. It's convenient for us, but it also contributes to pollution, traffic congestion, impacts everyone.
That's a great example. It makes you realize that even those seemingly small choices can have this wider impact. What other mental models did he highlight?
Well, another important one is the tragedy of the commons.
Okay.
This refers to those situations where individuals acting in their own self-interest deplete this shared resource, even when it's ultimately harmful to, everyone involved.
Oh, I've heard of this, like overfishing or deforestation.
Right.
Everyone wants to maximize their own catch or harvest, but it ends up destroying the resource for everyone.
Exactly. And this concept applies to our personal lives, too. Think about a team project where everyone tries to take credit for the work without contributing equally, or even something as simple as, using up all the hot water before anyone else can shower.
Haha, okay, yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that one sometimes. So it's like this reminder to be mindful of our impact on shared resources and to think about the long-term consequences of our actions. What other mental models should we have on our radar?
Thorpe also highlights the fundamental attribution error, which is this tendency to overemphasize, personality-based explanations for other people's behavior, while underemphasizing situational factors.
Oh, so we might assume someone is lazy if they're late for a meeting without considering that they might have had a flat tire or a family emergency.
Precisely. And this bias can work in reverse, too. We might attribute our own successes to our inherent brilliance while blaming our failures on these external factors.
Wow, this is so true. I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes. So it's a reminder to be more objective and compassionate when judging both ourselves and others.
Right. And lastly, Thorpe was a big advocate for the concept of antifragility. So instead of trying to avoid or eliminate uncertainty, he believed we should learn to embrace it and become stronger from setbacks.
So it's not about trying to control everything, but about building resilience and adaptability.
Exactly. Thorpe's own life is a testament to this principle. He constantly sought new challenges, experimented with different approaches, and, never let failures deter him from his goals.
This is so inspiring. It's a reminder that setbacks are inevitable, but they don't have to define us. We can use them as opportunities to learn, grow, and become more resilient.
You know, Thorpe's story offers so much wisdom that we can apply to our own lives.
Okay, let's bring it all together. If you had to distill Thorpe's life lessons into a few key takeaways for our listeners, what would they be?
I think first and foremost, I would emphasize the power of embracing mathematical thinking.
Okay.
Now, this doesn't mean you need to become a math whiz, but it does mean developing a basic understanding of probability, statistics, logical reasoning.
So it's about thinking critically, analyzing information, making more informed decisions.
Exactly. And, these skills are valuable in every aspect of life, from managing finances to assessing risks to even just understanding the world around us better.
I love that. What else should our listener take away from Thorpe's journey?
Well, Thorpe's life is this constant reminder that learning is a lifelong journey. He never stopped exploring new ideas, experimenting with different approaches, and expanding his knowledge base.
Yeah, it's about staying curious, embracing challenges, and constantly seeking to improve ourselves.
Exactly. And this can apply to anything that you're passionate about, whether it's a new skill, a different perspective, or simply a deeper understanding of a subject that interests you.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of Edward O. Thorp. What an amazing life.
It really is. His journey is a testament to the power of curiosity, discipline, and a willingness to challenge conventional wisdom. He truly found the edge, not just in casinos or on Wall Street, but in life itself.
And his story reminds us that we can all find our own edges, whatever they may be. It's about seeking knowledge, taking calculated risks, and never giving up on our pursuit of, a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
Beautifully said. And as we conclude this deep dive, I'm left wondering, how much of our lives is determined by luck and how much by skill? It's a question that Edward O. Thorp's life story certainly makes us ponder.
That's a fantastic question to leave our listeners with. It's something we can all think about as we navigate our own paths and strive to create our own unique edges in the world. Thanks for joining us on this fascinating journey.